CFR Network, CFR News. Good day, good night, all. Welcome back. I have a special guest all the way across the pond on that sunny west side. Brittney Kade, how art thou?
I'm doing really good. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome, and thank you for carving out some time to have this conversation. I gave you the briefest and the smallest introduction I ever gave. I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm doing something very different. Um, Please fill in the blanks. Who? Just a little bit because we're gonna go
Uh-huh.
deeper into it. So, who is Brittney Kade?
So I am a adult trans performer. I was ABN's 2023 Best Trans Newcomer. Been distinct for the past 3 years now. And yeah, I'm also a singer and I dabble in music a little bit also. But yeah,
I
that's
like
me.
it. I like it. So outside of that, it's you've got a musical side as well. I was unaware of that.
I do. Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people don't know about me. It's just kind of a little hobby that I do. But it's been a lot of fun exploring that side of myself. I've gotten to open for like the Trans Erotica Awards with some of my music that I did with another trans performer, Gracie Jane. And um, yeah, it's been awesome. I've got to meet like a lot of really cool performers, really talented. So I don't know. It's just a little hobby that I do. I don't really take
Okay.
it
Too serious.
seriously. Yeah,
Yes.
not like my acting.
Okay. So what kind of genre is this? Like poppy dance?
I would say like hyperpop.
Okay, this is a new term. I've never even heard of that before. So hyperpop, please paint me a vivid picture. What does that look like? Or is there a comparison that I may be able to?
Um, Yeah, I think I was always really inspired by Aisha Radhika, who I got to meet like after I'd gotten into music, and she is pretty much like TikTok viral with a lot
Yeah.
of her music. It's very catchy, very slutty and silly. And
Okay.
yeah, so I also like teamed up with another talented person that I mentioned before, Gracie, who really inspired me to take it more seriously and like get into the studio. And yeah, I love like hyper pop, like I don't know how to describe it, just like super slutty music you want
Okay.
to put on like when you're doing your makeup.
Okay. I can't relate to that, but I can think you're painting me a picture. You're painting me a picture.
It's for the girlies for sure. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So growing up musically wise, pardon self, what was the kind of genres of music that you was sort of exposed to? What shaped your
um
musical palette, should we say?
It's funny. I kind of grew up listening to all different types of genre. I never really got into rap until I was an adult, which is funny because now that's like a lot
Yeah.
easier for me to do rather than singing. And I appreciate it a lot more. But yeah, I've just always loved like the pop
Mm,
stars also, like Lady Gaga and like
yeah.
Gwen Stefani.
Yes.
Um I think they're definitely legends. Britney Spears, of course. I named myself after Britney Spears, so I
Okay.
loved her. I was obsessed.
Yes, and it's unfortunate the trials and tribulations she's going with her father and stuff. That seems so terrible. What's happening?
I know like some people that were in the Free Britney movement, and it was insane the amount of like protesting that happened out here in LA. And like, it's sad to say, but there's not really any change. Like, she's still under really tight leash. So,
Yes. Is it called a conservatorship or something like that?
yeah, she was under conservatorship, I think,
That's it.
for like 10 years or at least a decade. And it's crazy. Meanwhile, she's like touring and they're calling
It's
her like incapacitated, which
yeah,
you can't be both, I don't think.
it's tricky, and this should be, I mean, this should be inspiration of sorts, the positives of it, but also this should be showing you getting to certain levels, and being a child actor, star, entertainer, having these things in place can evolve and snowball into, you're working for your parents in essence, and you can't do anything. That doesn't sound right to me.
No, it's really sad. And then she was also kind of like a cash cow for her entire family and being taken advantage of, which I can relate on a personal level. But I don't know. I've always been inspired by her resilience and like been being able to not give a fuck really
Yeah.
what other people are thinking about you.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's kind of a dark
Yeah,
reality, I
it
guess.
unfortunately it's bittersweet of sorts. As I say, you can draw the experience and some kind of foresight based upon what's happening to her, but then we can rewind time and look at the goodness, all of the number ones, the hit records, the crazy videos and
Right.
all that kind of stuff. It's yeah, interesting
No,
times
it's
we're in.
crazy.
2024. I mean, you guys are going through an election process at the moment.
I know it's wild. Don't I know nothing about anything. I don't
And
even watch the news. So
stay
I'm
out
like,
of it.
I can't. It's like a circus.
You're right, and to be fair, it's you've hit the nail on the head, because it's entertainment, it's a circus, it's interesting though, obviously, because everyone's going to be affected by it, but it really is, it's hard. I mean, we've got circus over here. I think every place has circuses in regards to the governmental and political system, but it just seems more and more like a movie. It's almost like we're watching Back to the Future, and Biff's having a conversation with.
It is. It's giving dystopia. Like it's
Mm,
I don't know. I feel like we just need to let AI or like some robot take over and like have no bias and like run shit.
well, I think, yeah, we need to have, as you say, no bias. I'm not too keen on the robot element of it, but people not being biased and having checks and balances, like, like the good old fashioned way, and getting things done. LA has a huge homeless problem, a
Oh my
ridiculous.
God.
It's
It's terrible. Yeah. It's really heartbreaking. I was downtown LA um with one of my friends for Christmas, and we had like drove by a soup kitchen and to see like everyone lined up on Christmas and like all the homeless in the streets. It was like heartbreaking. Like I felt like such a spoiled cunt. Like I wanted to like empty out my pockets right there.
mhm. it,
But I
it
don't know what solution there is for that necessarily.
there's got to, well, we're not politicians, we don't
No.
have, far from it, but clearly we can see that there's a problem, and there needs to be some kind of a solution. And from what I'm hearing, I mean, if you correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't they actually shipping homeless people to LA from other places?
Yeah, they do ship them out mostly to California. I know I lived in Palm Springs when they had I'm born and raised Palm Springs, which is like a southern part of California.
Mhm.
Um, and when I was working as like a fast food manager, the city had passed a law that like made it a sanctuary city. So basically they could be anywhere doing whatever. I mean, obviously not like disturbing you, but they can be right outside your business, like sleeping, and
What,
it's okay. So a lot of cities were like shipping them out to Palm Springs. And I guess they are in LA now too. It's crazy.
so okay. Compassion, I understand it, empathy, but what does that achieve? Making Palm, was it Palm Springs, did you say?
Yeah, Palm
Palm
Springs.
Springs. So that's a sanctuary city. Okay. So what are we doing? What is Palm Springs achieving by saying, yeah, homeless people come, you can be outside of the business. Are they able to panhandle as you say over there?
I
Beg for
guess, yeah, I think that's their like part of it. They can't like be arrested for existing there, but they can like set up tent like outside your house, like they can in LA too. It's kind of crazy.
it's in, I mean, like, is there many? I mean, surely there's industrial sides of LA, California, North Cal, Southern Cal, the Bay, all over, California. They've
Mhm.
got industrial areas. Surely we repurpose something that's not being used and we house and try and rehabilitate some. Obviously, we know that some homeless people they don't want to be rehabilitated. They want to be on the streets. There's,
Right.
that is a reality. But there are genuine people who have, through circumstances, the zombie apocalypse that we went through a couple of years back, that destroyed people financially, spiritually, emotionally, and everything else. So
Right.
uh, it's an interesting one. Trustfully, sending positive energy out there. Trustfully, Mark Zuckerberg or some other, multi-millionaire will think, actually, no, let's do some good with some of the billions and millions of pounds we've got and dollars that we've got. It's terrible, man. It's terrible.
It is. I mean, I don't know. At least for me, like I spend so much money in taxes. It's like not even funny. So I would like to see like it go to something like that. Like,
Mm.
I don't know where it's going and they're taking all of it, but I'm definitely like to see that improved for sure.
It's the same everywhere. The tax is getting higher, and you look 10 years back and you think, oh, well, I remember growing up, the roads were clean, the road surfaces were nice and clean and didn't have potholes and cracks and crevices in there. Fast forward 10, 15 years, there's rubbish everywhere, there's homeless, there's immigration out of control. It's this, and I'm paying more. The food prices are more, the gas prices are more, the utilities.
Yeah, I'm thankful I'm in a position that I'm in, but no, I would definitely like there's no other profession that I would be in, I don't think, where I could sustain like my life that I want it.
It's challenging. It's
It's
challenging to say,
crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. For the, I speak so often about this. I mean, at this particular time, they're literally, it's pressure from above, pressure from the left, from the right, and from below. And if you haven't strategically set your life up to not, I mean, especially where you are, it's all out there. It's like, show it, show your opulence, show the excess, show your perfect body and stuff. But there are people who have put things in place to make sure that they're financially able to sustain the one car, the two car, the holiday home somewhere else. It's the ones who are trying to get there and not being strategic and really overextending themselves with that mortgage. Really, well, you tend to have leases rather than mortgages. So extend, overextend with the lease,
Right.
overextend with the car payment, and then something happens and it's that slippery slope. And
I know. It's sad. I've seen like I've seen it happen to like some adult stars where it's like, wow, like now you're on Twitter saying you don't even have enough money to post an ad. Like it's crazy to see some of them fall like that.
mm,
But it definitely gives me the fire under my ass to keep it straight and
yes,
keep my head on my shoulders.
100%. Have you had to learn financial literacy? That's the best way to put it. Or was this something imparted to you through experiences, through family, through friends, etc.?
um it's funny because both of my parents, I don't have any like relationship with them, but they never made very good money. My mother was like a drug addict for most of my childhood and like undiagnosed bipolar.
Oh
So
dear.
my childhood was crazy. Um and I saw firsthand how destructive you can be if you don't have your shit together.
Mm,
Um and how you become infantized and basically codependent on other people if you're not able to take care of yourself.
mm,
So that definitely influenced me to like be the hustler that I am. I didn't really have a choice, to be honest. Like I had to take care of myself. I know most people like can fall back on their parents to do that for them, but mine was clearly
Brittany,
unqualified.
pardon self, Brittany, you'd be surprised. You say most people have parents that they can fall back on. You would be. I speak to so and know so many people where it is
Mhm.
potentially just one parent, and that one
Right.
parent you can't necessarily. You can rely on them for emotional support. In regards to financial support, they're just about surviving themselves. You know, so it's great when you come from a two-parent household and
Mhm.
financially you are stable. So when you leave college, you can say, "Hey, mom, hey, dad, I've got a great idea. I want to do this business." "Oh, okay, go, Johnny. Here's 50K. Go and start it. You know, see what you can do, and all the best."
Right. And I understand like that's like the 2% that actually has that. But I think at least most parents at least take care of you when you're a kid and like buy you school clothes. And like I
Yeah.
didn't even have that. Like
Wow.
I would have to like steal everything. And like I think that also made me more of a hustler in
Mm.
a way. So I kind of developed that
I
mechanism.
most definite needs must. And as you say, growing up in that environment, in that situation where you've got to literally become your own adult and basically
Yeah.
forge your own route and journey through this, tweens to teenagers to a young adult, it's interesting. And that has created the being who you are today.
No, yeah, as hard as it was as a kid, like I'm so grateful for all the lessons it taught me. Because I do feel like, I am 24. I am way more mature. I have like a whole lot under my belt than I feel like most 24-year-olds. And I think everything happens for a reason. And like I'm
Yes.
grateful for like my upbringing, looking back on it,
Yeah.
not necessarily in the moment.
No, at the moment, it's the worst thing in hell, and you're thinking, "Oh, but Becky, why couldn't I have a mum like Becky or Anne
Right.
Marie or Johnny or Steve?" It's yeah, but as you say, it's what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's as plain as
Definitely.
simple. And things, especially I mean, you're still young, 24. You've got a
Mhm.
lot of life to grow, Brittany. You still got, most high willing, you still got another 50 plus summers, winters, springs, and autumns, or falls, as you would say. So yeah, I mean, just think of where you are now. Think of where you were, and just
Right.
think in 10 years where you physically are going to be, mentally and emotionally and spiritually. Where will Brittany be at that point? And how much further trustfully will you be? In this life and in this journey.
No, definitely. I think I don't know. I live in the moment as much as I can. Um but you do have to have like now's a pivotal time for me. Like I have all these opportunities that I've never had before and I have to really like plan my life out the way I want it and like plant the seeds that I want to like
Yeah,
grow.
indeed. Be very strategic. Examine the opportunities that present themselves. Do your due diligence and see, does this fall in line with the route, the journey that I'm currently on, or is it going to divert me down another path which I'm not too sure about? Could be fun, could be interesting, but it's about again doing your due diligence, right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely.
So staying in your Palm Spring days growing up, when did actually
Mhm.
no, let's stay there. But the
Okay.
main question is, when did we when did we feel and think that I'm not who I am and I should be somebody else?
Um, so I've always been very feminine. Um, Even as a kid, I always gravitated towards like Barbies and like things like that. And I don't know, I never resonated with masculine energy. It made me very uncomfortable.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, so I would watch like Powerpuff Girls and like stuff
Yes.
like that, play with Barbies. And when I went to school, because I did grow up as an only child, I kind of just like assumed like, oh, like this is how every other kid is, right?
Hmm.
But once I got pointed out for my differences, then it was like, oh wait, maybe I'm not like everyone else. And
Okay.
that had to been like I was young as like 5 years old.
That young.
Yeah. It's
Wow.
I did transition when I was 13. So I had a very early start. Um, I know now like it's a huge topic, like trans kids, especially for like news and like everything going on up over here. But I feel like I was definitely one of like the small percentage of trans kids that actually are trans kids.
Yes, because as you
And it,
say, it is a very because when you said 13, I'm like, wow. Like I remember
yeah.
when I was 13, like I wanted to be a stunt. No, at 7, I wanted to be a stuntman. That's all I wanted to do for the longest amount of time. But I got older and I thought, there's no way I'm breaking my bones and putting my life on the line for that. That's not what I think. So at 13, that's still, you still got a lot of physical developing to do, mentally developments. But clearly, moving forward for yourself, you were one of the percentage where it wasn't, oh, I've got a feeling a little bit different. And then
Right.
being said, okay, well, let's take some of these different types of hormones. I think that's a different, no, not a different, that's a very slippery slope. I think it should be very much spoken about, very much discussed. Therapy, obviously doctors conversations, parental discussions before any. That's very drastic. That's very drastic decision, isn't
It's
it?
irreversible damage that you can do to your body. And, you know, I signed a paper at like 13 saying I will never have kids because it makes you infertile. So it was like, I didn't realize at the time, like, what a huge decision I was making.
Mm,
Um, for me, and I feel like I don't know, for true transgender people, it's not like a matter of choice.
mhm.
It's a life or death. Like I'm either going to kill myself or I'm going to transition. Like
Yeah.
there's no in between.
Mhm.
So and I was definitely like at that age, like everyone is depressed and like goes through those angsty teen years.
Yes.
And that was definitely like my dark moment
Well,
where I
how
was like,
challenging? Well, how challenging was it at that time
yeah.
being 13? You've got well, you had your testosterone going, you're feeling different, people around you are looking physically different and stuff like how like what was that like? Did you have a circle, a little small circle of friends or people that you could lean on?
Um, I really wish that I did. I it's I don't know. I hate telling it because it sounds like such a sad story, but I really had no friends. Like I really didn't go to school. My mom wouldn't take me because she'd be like high on pain meds in bed all the time.
Okay. Yeah.
So I would constantly get letters from the school being like, "Oh, you need to take your kid to like class."
Yeah.
And I don't know, I never really developed friends because of it. I did a little bit. I had like maybe one or two that I considered like childhood besties.
Okay.
Um,
And
but
what were they like? Were they different?
I Well, I was bullied so much in school that I dropped out after the sixth grade. So
Oh man.
yeah, I was getting like beaten up and like trampled and like they would take my backpack and open it up, dump all my shit out on the floor. And that was pre-transition. I was just a feminine boy at that time that they were picking on. So once I was already like out of school, I just took that time to be like, fuck it, I feel safe now. I'm going to make the choice to
Yeah.
transition. And honestly, it was like best decision I've
Do
ever
you
made.
do you think the bullying and all of that, do you think that now you're older as well, do you think that some of them were secretly, you
Um,
know,
no, I really don't. I think a lot of it was learned behavior.
okay,
Um, at that time too, it was still like you could say tranny on TV and like make fun of characters and call them gay and like
yeah,
say the F slur and like it meant nothing. Like it was a different time back then. It was pre Caitlyn Jenner era. So
yes,
people didn't really know what trans was. They weren't educated either. And I think obviously everyone's a bully to someone. I know I bullied kids too in school. Like um so I forgive a lot of them because of that. Like
yeah,
but it's in my mind just like they were just using me to take out their anger that they who knows what's going on in their home life.
yes,
I
very
know
true.
mine was crazy, so I can only imagine like
Mm.
for them to act out like that, it had to have been bad. So
Well, definitely, as you say, and I'm glad you mentioned that because in a roundabout way, if we all look at it, at some point, in some microcosm, your
mhm.
action is going to affect somebody, and they will feel like you're harassing or you're bullying them and stuff. So it's good that you've got that retrospective kind of, or introspective kind of ability to say, "Oh, actually, I bullied people as well, not to that extent where you're trampling on people and stuff." I mean,
Right.
yeah, it shows those kind of people who do that, regardless whether you're trans or whatever it is, that there's something lacking in them. Because, you
Definitely.
know,
Yeah.
if you're proactively going out and being provocative and look, Brittany, get away from me. I told you, like, we can be friends and all that, but all that other stuff is then maybe at a young age, someone might get physical, but if you're just walking, doing your thing, and people are just attacking you, that's, there's no place for that.
No, it was like it was a really dark period in my time in my life. And I thought like, okay, like I was constantly having people telling me, oh, you're going to hell, right? And all this stuff and like would like bring up religious shit. And it also like did give me motivation to like, I don't know, transition in spite of them, like be happy in spite of everyone wanting to see me kill myself. Like
Yes.
instead, I'm not gonna give you that
Mm.
satisfaction. Like I'm gonna be the most flamboyant tranny that is in your face.
So you used it as fuel ultimately, rather than succumbing to the
Yeah.
pressure, as unfortunately many people do who are being harassed, bullied for multiple different reasons. You said,
Mhm.
no, forget you. This is how I feel. This is what I want to do. Um, Question would be, obviously, going through the transitional periods, there is, are you gonna be going at some point fully, or is this the most you're going to do in regards to your transition?
Um, I I like to I don't know. I feel like I'm as fully as a girl as will ever be.
Hmm.
Um, I also I don't know. I don't even think about me being trans until I like read something or I look at Twitter or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I forget. Like it's not having a vagina doesn't like it's not a necessity. I know it is for some trans people,
Hmm.
but I honestly am in fear for them because the technology that we have today is not good. Like majority of the girls I know that get it have to have a revision at some point. 90% of them do. So unless you're going to go get it in Thailand, it's kind of scary, like the girls that get it done in the States.
Oh, I mean, obviously the technology has moved on dramatically. Going back 10 to 15 years, they were still performing these surgeries, and the
Right.
technology back then was even worse.
I couldn't imagine. um, no, it's like I know one performer, Izzy Wild, like I'm pretty sure she just got it done. And I know Kimber James, an OG like trans porn star.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then she got it done and lost all her fans. And it's like
Yeah.
it's sad, but it's like how can you expect your fans to still be into you when they're into your
Yeah.
penis?
Mm.
So I just want to let my fans know I would never do that to them.
But didn't know that. So Kimber James, right?
Yeah.
So she lost all her fans once she did the full transition.
Yeah. No one, yeah, she was fucking around with this one director that would promise her like tons of scenes after she had it done, and her fan base was gone. Like, and I understand, like, I have it hard standing out in like the porn world a little bit,
Mhm.
but like biological women have it way more harder because you have to be like you have to stand out amongst a crowd basically. Um and yeah, it's kind of tragic what had happened to her, but I mean, she still like accomplished a lot of things with her career. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't say don't get it done if that's what you need to.
Mm.
Um, I'm just fortunate enough that I love my penis, I guess.
Well, I guess they would say the best of both worlds.
Exactly. Yeah.
So is she still performing and stuff, or is she kind of faded?
Kimber,
Yeah.
no, I don't think she's performed in, gosh, it's probably been like 10 years now.
Wow, that's how
Yeah.
time flies. Time
She's a
flies.
huge inspiration though for my career. She accomplished a lot of awesome things. So I love her aesthetic. When I first got into the industry, everyone would tell me, "Oh, you look like her."
Because as soon as you mentioned the name, I saw the picture, kind of the image. I was like, oh, wait a minute, I can see a resemblance here.
Yeah, it's funny. I used to get it a lot. But now who knows? People are gonna be saying that to the next generation. They look like Brittney Kade.
That's exactly what you're doing. You're creating your own wave. So as you say, people be like, yeah, you're the next Britney, aren't you? So you
So
you
funny.
you touched on the pay, and well, no, not necessarily the pay, how hard it is to get the scenes and stuff, and competition wise. Is there a bigger a pay discrepancy reference trans and straight? Well, I guess was it with straight actors, I guess? Is that what you
I guess like biological female
y-
actors. I don't know.
yes.
I guess I would call them cisgender, but apparently that's like a slur now.
Well,
So
okay, so someone tried to educate me, because it's tricky.
I can't keep up with it. Like
So cis, so what would I be classed as?
you'd be like a cisgender man.
Cisgendered man. Okay. What's the cis part? What does that
It
do?
means it just basically translates to non-trans.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, as you say, it's tricky. It's tricky. But what really irritates me,
Mhm.
now this may not irritate yourself, but I think this is just it's crazy. Um, them,
Oh, the they
them,
thems.
it. What?
Yeah.
Do you think that they're just like having a bit of fun kind of thing? Because like I could say like,
No, I think it's honestly, I think it genuinely goes back to them